Hey everyone, I am back. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. And I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in as usual. As you can see, I have the amazing guest that we've been talking about the last couple of weeks here, Mikki Taylor. Welcome to Mental Health Moment.
Hi there. So honored to sit with you this evening.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We're delighted to have you.
Thank you.
And for those of you who do not know, Mikki Taylor is, first of all, amazing and fabulous. And I'm so excited that she's here with us today. But she is an author, she's an international speaker. She's currently the editor at large of Essence Magazine. She has spent numerous, couple of decades really, as the cover and beauty director of Essence Magazine. And really, she has had the opportunity to speak with influential people all over the globe, including Oprah Winfrey and Beyonce and Rihanna and so many other amazing people that we know and love. So I'm so delighted that you are here today. And I do just want to give a quick shout out before we get started of her recent book, Editor-in-Chief, How to Style and Be Your Most Empowered Self. I recently read that book. It is absolutely amazing. You all should definitely go out and get it. I'll put it here in the chat. But it is definitely a self-care Bible, if you will. So I would love for you to really tell everyone listening what you feel is your number one tip for inner beauty. I know the book talks a lot about outer beauty and inner beauty, but really with inner beauty, like what's your number one tip that you can share for us to
You
live
know,
our best lives?
Dr. Hammond, it really comes down to how well you know your value. Self-perception colors your entire life,
Yeah.
colors you professionally, emotionally, personally, how you see yourself, how well you teach others to honor you. So it really is the all-inclusive beauty tip to know your value.
Yes, yes. I love that. That's so important. We talk a lot on Mental Health Moment here about, to your point, knowing your value, and especially with the negative self-talk and all the negative things that we tell ourselves. I know you mentioned a lot of times in the book about really how to bring your value, to light. And what would you say? I know as we mentioned, you've done so much, and I know you've done so much with the media on Good Morning America and the Steve Harvey Show and The View, and so many, really great avenues to share how to better women specifically. And what would you say was like your most surprising thing that you learned from such powerful and influential women that you can share with us?
I think how difficult it is for us, ageless for that matter, how difficult it is for us to set boundaries, to create time for self, and that we feel guilty about self-nurturing.
Mhm.
But I found that a lot of us have come of age with the notion that self-care is selfish,
Yes.
not the page that you should be on. You should put yourself last and always be looking to see how you can help others. The truth of the matter is that we cannot give out of our lack.
Mm.
So if and nor can we teach others to be 100, as we often say, when in
Yes.
fact operating on zero. So
Mhm.
so that is something that we've had to unlearn. And as I travel the world, I'm
Mhm.
having to have that conversation with us again and again to
Yeah.
remind us that we were created to thrive, and that an essential part of that is time for self and self-nurturing.
Hmm. And I love that. I love that. I love that what you mentioned, because so many times I think that so many of us do think that way, that self-care is somehow being selfish.
Yes.
But to
Yes.
your point, how do you really help yourself and others if you're operating from lack?
Yeah, and it's really true. But part of the problem is, and I think particularly in this digital age,
Mm.
is that so much of the way we live our lives is programmed and in sync with the ways of others.
Mhm.
So this, running on less and doing more and becoming seemingly adept at being able to respond to the pressures of others, that's become our new normal. And so we're like trying to get in step with what everyone else is doing. It's sort of like, when I remember the era when multitasking was the mode of the day, and then the go
Yeah.
on girl, that became the mantra in the 90s. And so it's kind of it's kind of following us from generation to generation, from decade to decade, and it's getting increasingly worse and increasingly something that's to our detriment. So we really have to learn to set boundaries. We really have to learn that you cannot give what you don't have. That self-nurturing is part of honoring yourself, honoring your temple. It is part of knowing your value, and it is upon all of us to be that example for one another.
All righty, and we're back. No worries at all. So we're still live here. Sorry about the technical difficulty there, but you were saying about boundaries and how important it is for us to set boundaries in our lives, because it is, I mean, we're expected to do so much, especially as women. You're expected to be maybe a mother or a sister and a daughter, and if you work, and I mean, there's all these roles that we have to play. So to put ourselves last doesn't really help anyone, including ourselves.
Yes, not at all. And so I think that setting boundaries is part of owning your life. No, and it's sort of, when I'm on the road, I joke with women. I say, if you're not careful, everyone else is going to have the remote control to your life but you.
Yes.
So, not ask for permission where you already have the authority. Take the remote back and make sure that you keep a firm grip on it.
Oh, I love that.
Yes.
I love that, because how many times, I mean, and for those of you listening, who does have the remote in your life? That's a good point.
Right.
Because a lot of it's somebody else. If it's your significant other, your parents, your grandparents, your boss, somebody else, right? It's just it's like a puppet. Right. And the strings, and we don't want that, right?
No, that's that. I always say, be the woman you dreamed of being when you were coming of age. Oh, and that your definition of success was not being weary and responding to the pressures of life with more yeses than you can cash, and being on call like housekeeping for this and that and so forth, and never having time to get still and self-nurture. So that means you really have to be vigilant. You have to give attention to it. It is not going to happen by osmosis. You can't take it for granted. And you have to learn how to lovingly say no. Doesn't mean that you can't serve. It just means that you want to serve from your saucer, as they say, when the cup is running over, when you're on full, not on E, not when you're gasping, when you can't take another thing, when you're definitely overwhelmed, because then you're really not giving out of your heart. You're giving out of concern of what others might think, or everything and everyone else comes before your own feelings at that point. And you want to get from a great place, a place of gratitude, a place of love, of heartfelt concern, not, because here it is again, or I have to. No, have to, whenever you say that should let you know you're in the wrong lane.
Wow. So that's something, okay, I was gonna say, that's something to really check in about. If you feel you have to,
right,
somebody else wants XYZ, right?
Yeah.
And for those of you just tuning in, thank you again for tuning in. We're here with the fabulous Mikki Taylor. You can find her. She's on Facebook, she's on Twitter, she's on Instagram at I am Mikki Taylor. So make sure to connect with her. She is amazing. And again, and I'm going to put it in the chat for you here, but Editor-in-Chic, How to Style and Be Your Most Empowered Self. I will tell you, first of all, I want to say thank you for that book, because I read a lot of books on all the plane rides I'm on. And that book, when I started reading it, I was like, oh, like chapter 1, I had to reach down in my backpack and pull out a pen and start underlining. And I was like, this is a book. I don't even read that way. I don't read with a pen, but I was like, oh, this book I'm reading with a pen and underlining, because there were some amazing gems in there. I will refer to that book over and over. I already started some of the tips in there.
Oh my.
And Outer Beauty. It's beautiful. So you guys have to get that book. And like I said, I will definitely put it in the chat for you.
You. Well, Dr. Hammond, that's the book is essentially the conversation I wanted to have with us. And to just remind us that we were created to thrive, not to survive. And I wanted to just pull us out of survival mode and help us own the queen that lies in us. So I'm really honored to hear you say that you had to, because that is the feedback that I've been getting, that
I did.
and you want to do this and you really want to try that. And it's kind of like this call to consciousness. Yes, that's right. I should see myself that way. And that I couldn't ask for more. I couldn't.
Yeah, it felt like, so for those of you that are going to be inspired, it really felt like I was sitting down and having a cup of tea with you when I was reading the book. Like, it's just it's a beautiful book. I love it. And it's all about self-care, like I said, inner and outer beauty. And I was like, okay. And I learned a lot. So I thank you for it. So I also wanted to mention, I know that you also have a retreat that you're going to be keynoting coming up here.
Yes. So
that.
Oh my goodness. Actually, I have a couple retreats. So October is Come Fly With Me month. So October 3rd to the 7th, I am going to be at the Half Moon Resort in Jamaica with the Fit Doc Retreat with Dr. Michelle Reed. And the theme is Be the Boss of Your Own Transformation. And I'm going to be speaking on the subject of leadership, setting your best life. So coming up, it's not too late to register. Go to fitdocretreat.com. And then at the end of October 27th through the, oh my goodness, I'm getting the dates mixed up. I am playing literally every week. But if you go to I Am That Woman Retreat, I am going to be in Riviera Maya, Mexico. And that is going to be the most amazing time. And I'm really going to be talking about, seizing your dreams, mastering your purpose, your passion, your perception, all of that, the big P's in your life that are going to help you own your life and seize your dreams.
Beautiful, beautiful. And I'm going to put this here. You said the code was Mikki, right?
Yes. So if you put in the code Mikki,
let me put this in here.
A nice. Yes.
Okay. I'm going to put this in here now for you guys on the chat. Okay, cool. So I put that in there. Great. I am thatwomanretreat.com. For those watching this later on, and you may not see the chat, but it's I am thatwomanretreat.com. The code is Mikki, M as in Mary, IKKI for your discount. And I think it's going to be fabulous and amazing also. So as we wrap up here, you mentioned first of all, again, thank you so much for being here with each and every one of us. I know people have been so excited to see you, including myself, and honored. But is there anything that you want to leave us with? I know, as you mentioned, many people have said some of their stories on Mental Health Moment and are struggling and trying to find the time, for self-care, if you will. So any last words that you want to share with us about really the topic of being a better person and taking care of ourselves?
Well, Dr. Hammond, one of the things I write about, research has proven that we act in harmony with what we perceive ourselves to be. And I think what's critical in that lane is that for us to understand that your greatness, your well-being was not designed to operate in isolation. And in the book, I encourage all of us to establish what I call a celebration circle, a team of celebrants who push, polish, check you, keep you out of your pity parties, remind you of the truth of who you are and the greatness that lies in you, and point you when you're going in the wrong direction, correct that, all of that, so that it's important to curate that circle. Don't just assume the people around you are the right ones for that circle, but who are those celebrants? Who are those people who see you and who want to see you win? Those are the people who should be in your celebration circle. So that's something I want to leave us with, because oftentimes because of social media, we think we're so connected, but I don't know if you've got 5,000 friends, who can you call at 4 a.m. in the morning? And if you,
Yes.
so that virtual reality is not enough to support or sustain you.
Yes.
So it's important that you surround yourself with a team of celebrants, your celebration circle, who are going to be there for you and push you into your best self. So I us with that. And I want to ask us starting tonight to begin curating that circle. Who are those people in your life who want to see you win?
Yes, I love that. I love that so much. And, you know, when we had talked before this interview about this conversation, I remember you said something too that stuck with me about the celebration circle. And that is at different points of your life, it's okay for your celebration circle to change, right? Because who you are today maybe it wasn't who you were 10 years ago or who you're going to be 10 years from now, right?
It's sort of like the seasons of your life.
Exactly.
And it's important to know what you need at every season to thrive.
Yes.
Yeah, that's critical. That's critical. And that, you know, so when you do that, you really realize, you know, people talk nowadays about having it all. The real goal is to have what matters. So who you surround yourself with, how you see yourself, how well you own your life, how well you master your purpose with distinction, and certainly celebrate your truth, which includes your inner and outer beauty.
I love it. I love it so much. Thank you so much. We so appreciate you being here today on Mental Health Moment. And again, for those of you, feel free to connect with the awesome, amazing Mikki Taylor. She is at I Am Mikki Taylor at Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And again, I already put in the chat about the retreat for those of you who I think are interested. I put that in there. It is I Am That Woman Retreat.com. So make sure you go there and use the code Mikki, Mikki. And we will see you next time on Mental Health Moment every Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And again, Mikki Taylor, we thank you. And we're so gracious.
It was my honor.
Thank you. All right. Bye-bye.